Fuck, this is just coming on top of my mind.
You know what?
Yo, I should be charging you guys for this.
Everything you just mentioned right now, it's so critical to developing one's self-character into building a skill that will later on develop into a business. Because what you just said right now are basically steps that a person will eventually go through in order to get to his primary goal per se.
You've just stepped into an empty street, a podcast where we casually engage in difficult conversations about relationships, wealth, and health. We are just three curious gentlemen who ask questions almost about everything, and our aim is to find answers from others and within ourselves. We sit down every week to explore unaltered conversations. So let's walk the talk together, and welcome to the Empty Street Podcast.
In 3,
2, 1. We're rolling. Welcome to the Empty Street Podcast.
We're live. Another Tuesday, another day.
Another week.
Yeah.
No, we have to, bro. Like, we have to.
Like we always say, we're not walking alone. We come bearing gifts, and we'll let the gift unwrap itself.
Oh, I'm the gift.
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Khutso. Khutso Schobela. Baraka Schobela Samaraka Pajel Fall. The rest we might hear it later, but it's fine. Thank you guys for the invite.
Proper. Thanks for pulling through, my nigga.
It's a pleasure.
And if you haven't watched the previous episode and you don't know who these guys are, watch the first episode, the previous episode actually. And this is basically a continuation of that episode. We have 3 episodes that are lined up. This is only the second one. It's important for you to watch the first one and this one and the one that's coming out next week.
It's a series.
So yeah, it's a series basically. And it's important to get the plot right.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, we're still here.
It's a series of informative information. This is mostly for our gents out there, as this is the men's conference. Yes, of course. So this week we will be touching on relevant issues actually, because some of us are looking at Valentines. Guys, I don't know what your plans are, but anyway, let's stick with that. So yeah, but you know, Valentine's is coming, guys.
Today. It's coming. It's
Coming today.
It's the 14th today.
This guy.
My wife is gonna kill me, but anyway, I'm saying it's coming because my gift is gonna be presented at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
evening.
And some people
Guys,
will be celebrating the Valentines
Yes.
in the weekend and
Yes, so yeah,
people
mine
are
is
at
still
work.
coming. So anyway, guys, so we're dealing with that, and you know, Valentine's rather comes with challenges. You know, like you have to take out some base wants to be taken out and all of that. You know, and yeah, guys, this in fact, like, this impacts our pockets whether we like it or not.
Cuffing season.
It's cuffing season, guys. Some people uncuff because it's February. So, so guys, like, just I just want to find out, Guti, like, how is Valentine gonna, you know, just impact on your pocket, number one. Number two, you know, we're just gonna be running around the issues of, you know, like the importance of being a provider, number one, you know, how that influences, you know, the person that you're with and all of that. And as well, as a man, how do you become a provider? You know, whether you are an entrepreneur or an employee, you know, as an entrepreneur, how do you grow your business? As an employee, how do you elevate in the company that you're with? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, like, without any further ado, gents, like, just let us know, just touching lightly on that, you know, like Valentine's and, you know, the impact of a pocket, guys. Like, how much money are we making, and can we really afford certain things, you know? Like cruise, you know, because I know someone's out there is expecting a whole bouquet with 200 rands and 100 bags in it.
We were talking about this earlier. When was it?
It's got to come
So
the pressure is there.
so the conversation was basically around how now social media has also like applied pressure, you know, because you're seeing all these influencers or socialites, and their posts are these bouquets of roses, right? And as you were saying, 200 rand, 100 rand notes in there. If we have
Picho.
Dog, flowers just used to be flowers.
Idea, bro.
These days, and then they're gonna send you a link. But one Mikhari got a bouquet of this. Now you have to meet those standards.
Step up, nigga.
You know? So it's either you step up or you step down. So and during these times it's one of the two, dog.
So if le ibuya khona le nyama ye cake. Angibone ye cake, yeah. It was last week. Ye cake, then this ice cream.
I see
So,
the one that rolls.
Yeah,
Cake
and ice cream.
Zenzan.
So immediately my cake ngithi zoba ne number yakho bese ithing 21. So kule 21 lo 21 uhlangene ngi1. So immediately momdonsa mawuthi uyamdonsa. Makaphuma so kulimali
So Valentine bayanokuyenza zenza leso.
Cake just ungathi uthi hayi na cake.
The levels are leveling up.
Mawudonsa ikhiphe into ngaphakathi.
So it's not about the thought anymore, it's the money.
It's always been, dog. When you look at how the gifts are not thoughtful anymore. So it's not like, okay, here's money, go get yourself something. So it takes out the thoughtfulness of getting someone a gift. You know, which defeats the purpose.
And actually appreciate it.
The person,
I was having a conversation with Sauda last night about the importance of gifts and why we give other people gifts. Like, I think that's the most underrated thing we
overlook.
Yeah, we overlook. And in today's age, it's just that it's about money. How much can you give to your girlfriend? And it ends there. And now it takes away from that feeling and that connection you guys can have from just exchanging gifts with one another. And another thing is, Valentine's is not about you as a nigga. Valentine's is about her. You have to step up and do something for her, but does she step up to do something for you? Which now goes back to what you mentioned, being a provider. Now my question is, in a situation and in this generation that we are in, without getting any like very controversial about this, because this is just a men's conference, a conversation between us niggas, is that if I went to grade 1 and the same girl that I'm dating went to grade 1 and we both finished, we both matriculated and we still both went to varsity together and graduated and we got jobs, but now who's the provider in that situation? If we're gonna say that, yeah, on Valentine's Day you should be the one impressing me more than I impress you. So it's those situations. But then for me as a man, I feel good when I'm doing something for my woman, dog. And sometimes I don't do the things I do for my woman just to get something in return. It's fine. But the effort as well. Now they should be showing some effort. So where I'm going with this is what you mentioned about money. Are we now as men just money machines, or are we given an opportunity to step up and be actual providers and be thoughtful about how we can provide for the women that we are with?
Just to jump onto that question, to add on, actually, I feel like just an additional question to this, guys, that how important is it as a man to actually be a provider in a situation whereby you actually have to provide based on the person that is going to be receiving it, you know?
I think it's very important to provide, but the way I see it, you guys are as providing for your girl.
Okay, but in this instance,
let's say providing generally providing for the family. Family being your mother, your grandmother, I think it's very important. Also, even providing for your girl, it's important. Your wife, let me put it like that, it's important.
Your wife.
But looking in terms of Yeah, it's
in the context of the month we're in.
The month we're in.
In the context
Or in the context,
girl kind of expects
Yeah,
you
in the
to
month
be like,
we're in.
On that specific day, not just providing general,
for
but
that specific
for
day.
this specific day, Valentine's.
Okay.
Actually, Valentine's, and you doing stuff that she's gonna take pictures and videos of, post on social media
Content.
to
And
then-
fit
and then
in
it
as
dies
well
down.
to say ukuthi nam ngiyajola.
Validating
After the pictures are taken, the high wears off, and then it's like nothing happened.
Nothing
though.
happened.
Okay, well, you're gonna have a session later on. Sasa nyavuga, back to square one.
Back
If
to
you
square one.
dog.
So it's for the
Cloud.
gram.
Hey,
Yeah,
cloud.
for cloud. So after that it's gone. It's child.
That's what it is.
So it's
these
just for
days.
that one day.
Yeah. What's is it Valentine's significant to you?
Hey, uzongibulalisa.
I was just about to ask
No.
that.
Here's the thing. Before you actually came and we were just having a brief about how these conversations are gonna come. The cameras were off, ne? Intengishilo, wuthi, this is the thing with us guys, is that we want to sugarcoat things for the sake of making our women happy.
Yeah.
Because siyazi ukuthi bayakwata and Tina stand the peace, Tina.
Sure. So you might as well.
But that's not healthy, I'm taught. But that's not healthy. And this platform is for us to speak our minds. And if someone gets offended, but at the end of the day, it's the
context.
truth.
Yeah.
And
There's
truth
context.
doesn't care about your feelings. Young tall.
Okay.
But at the same time,
So-
concluding Oguti, we should be respectful after all.
Mina, I would say Guti Valentine's is scam.
Yeah.
Mina, okay, the things that we are expected to do on Valentine's Day, I would say Guti. I would do those things. Mara, ungangayi date yokuthi on the 14th. Wamele kube so. Wamele ungaye ididing. For example, ngiplan something. Kusasa. Not today, kusasa. Angithi today is 14 Valentine.
Yeah.
Mara, I've planned it for tomorrow, which means mama is gonna be angry at me
And still be angry tomorrow.
tomorrow. And Mina already I have planned. It's been a week or two now. Plan riding for tomorrow.
Which is
So
15.
angazi namhlanje
Which is
ngiyolala
15.
kanje. Which is E15.
Father, you might have to sleep on the couch.
But then what can you say? Injani life. So mina angithandi le ndaba le ukuthi kune date yokuthi it's my birthday, it's Valentine, it's Women's Day, you need to buy me a gift. Angifuni leyo date. If I do ngizozenza that day or whatever.
So basically, any day it goes in 50. Any day you need to appreciate whoever you're with. It doesn't have to come with a specific day.
Sure, because that date I feel ukuthi is an pressure. Kunomuntu book stadium just to impress imama.
And then you have to live up to those
You have
standards.
to.
Why?
So
Social media.
social media, the gram.
That's toxic. You problem either.
And Joe, I feel like a lot of things are perpetuated through that. You know, a lot of ideas are pushed through that.
Yeah.
And now I feel like when dates like today come, you know, your Valentine and whatnot, we are so put under pressure, but this pressure does not necessarily come from the person that you're with. This pressure comes from the content this person takes
Consuming.
in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I get where you're going with this, bro. It shouldn't be a specific date and whatnot, because now it just puts, like, it brings unrealistic expectations from you know, certain boyfriends and whatnot. So then I wanna ask, last year what did you do for your hand?
Last year I was singing.
Yo, you were singing. Oh, today's different, boy.
Today's different.
I know.
If you were singing, this year you're going to do a movie. This one. You only left with visuals. You were doing a video audio. Yeah, so this year you're doing visuals.
Yeah. It's nothing big, gents, but I still believe gule concept le ukuthi it's the thought that counts. So what I've planned, it's okay, maybe mina ngibona ngathi ayikho big, mara maybe kuye makayibona uzoyibona as something big, and I hope ukuthi uzoy appreciate.
Mara, chance, Mina, I have a question. Right?
Yeah.
So there's all these trends, bouquet cash, cake money and all of that. guys, petrol is going up.
Again.
The economy is
They
not
don't care.
stable at all, guys. How are these men surviving? Like, I'm sorry, like Nina, I just want
Let's
to
dig
know.
into their pockets.
I just want to know, guys. Like,
But
do you have?
But the real question is like, as much as you ask that, it comes to a point with, do they think even about that? Or the only thing that they're most concerned about is how they feel. So if they're more concerned about how they feel, that means they're not concerned about what you're going through or how are you feeling.
And we are talking about the sisters now,
You
right?
understand?
Yeah. No. Do you consider about your guy's pocket when you're thinking about that cases? Just the question I'm putting on to you. You will answer me on the comments below. You tell me. You let me know. But yeah,
you know what I usually say is that our sisters are only loyal to their feelings. They're only loyal to how they are feeling. But let's not go there. I think we can just drive the conversation a bit into our pockets without involving third party.
The ladies, yes.
The ladies for now. We can just unpack how we as guys can improve our financial states and how we can improve our pockets, basically, whether it's developing new skills, acquiring knowledge, and monetizing whatever skills and knowledge that we have, and being the best version of yourself, basically, to improve. Like on the previous episode, we covered the character and the people you associate with, and obviously that will lead to
How you use how you handle your pockets.
Yeah, how you handle your pockets. I mean, they say your network is your net worth, stuff like that, and that starts from your own character as a guy, and it goes to the people that you surround yourself with, and then it goes to the amount of wealth that you can acquire or your financial mindset. So that's I don't have a question that I can ask so that to spark a conversation, but I just want us to cover that.
You know, I'm just thinking about it now. I mean, as men, you know, we work so that we get money, so that we can do things, right? And with all of that, it comes a lot of, I mean, there's a certain level of literacy that comes with having money and administering your own money, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then now, as guys, I don't care who you are. As a guy, if you have a hand, you know you're going to want to spend your money on something that makes your hand happy, right? So now, the amount of money you spend, in my opinion, is determines on what your hand believes will make her happy, right? So even though we don't want to put in the ladies in terms of our pockets and whatnot, but they are there, you know.
No,
even
wait,
for
wait,
ladies.
Let's not go back.
Okay,
Let's not go
It's
there.
about
for
the man
now.
at the moment.
It's
Yeah.
about you, because
Yeah.
you as an individual, you as a man,
Yeah.
you know that you should be a provider.
Yeah.
Whether a provider for your family, your mother, your grandma, your sister, your nephews, your niece, and for yourself as well. I once made an example on one of our previous episodes, which is you as a guy, you will have a pressure to wear nice just because you see other people wear nice. You as a guy, you want to experience some things that will require money for you to be able to do, and that comes from you without involving anyone else.
True.
You'll want to go to a certain hotel that you saw, which it has some dope experience, and you will go there. You'll want to buy yourself a certain sneaker you saw that costs 4,000 rands, and that's for you. So that's what I mean when I'm saying, Guti, before we can involve other people, let's start with how you can make money for yourself, and be able to afford the type of lifestyle that you want, which is your accommodation, the types of clothes you wear, the type of spaces that money gives you access to, and then we can go to how that amount of money you have will allow you to meet a certain people and to associate yourself with that certain type of circle.
I would say,
Young John.
for one, I would say upskilling. You know.
Yeah.
I think everyone, whatever field of profession you're in, one needs to upskill to level up.
And what does that mean?
And that means, if, for instance, you feel you want to, if you are in employee type of space. You're employed.
Yeah.
Right? And you feel maybe I've been doing this job and it's monotonous and I've been doing it for maybe 3-4 years and I'm still getting the same amount of pay. When there's an annual increase, it's 2 keep, 3 keep, it's not really it's not realistic. So upskill yourself, like better your CV basically. Provide the credentials to prove that okay, you're worth more. And then you can come back to the table and say, okay, I see this is what you're offering, but based off what I've acquired over the year, I think this is now what I'm worth. And you prove that. Like give substantial evidence.
And upskilling is learning new skills, is to go back to school while you're still
upskilling
working?
Is learning new skills. It can be both. It can either or. You can either go to school and upskill or get a higher certificate. And not a higher certificate. But
like a higher qualification.
Yeah, a higher qualification.
To be able to apply in a
all the way.
position.
Be an academic if you want. Get a master's degree if you have to. And upskill that way. Or you can upskill the skill that you're good at. That one thing you're good at, upskill that. There's online courses and whatever. Be good at that one thing and show that you're good at it in whatever many ways you can. And then prove and then give the proof that okay, I can do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I think this is how much I'm worth. If they can't give you that, then you go outside, you seek employment somewhere else. And that is also another way of like substantially increasing whatever you're getting, because you're not looking for the same offer you're giving it where you're currently based. Those kind of stuff. And then if that doesn't work, upskill so that you can actually do it as a freelancing gig. If you're able to run a freelancing gig, upskill to a point where you can actually, I don't need to be employed anymore. I can just do this on my own at my own time and use those hours like efficiently towards honing in on my skills. If it's not that, then it's running a business, starting a business is hand in hand with freelancing. Because if you're not freelancing, you're obviously working for someone. Or you're just freelancing. But a freelancing gig can easily turn into a business, depending on how you handle that freelancing gig. And then,
so
No, but we are drinking water, so we
could. The problem with taking is puzza man's. And the man, if me bang decide to man's our taste, go sharp. Maramanga,
it's
no,
closed.
that one
It's closed. Yeah.
It's closed.
It's not closed.
Which one?
Did you open it?
Yes.
Based on the amount of people that are here. It's closed.
No, but I hear your concern. It will forget that I'm
Sure.
Yeah, because my problem with thinking food and
better safe than sorry.
Oh, sure.
You can continue, guys.
Yeah, so those are the kind of things you can actually put in place, to kind of better your pocket. Those things are not always easy. They take discipline, they take time, they take consistency. Those 3 things alone are not easily achieved or they're not easy to do. To apply discipline is not easy for a person that is a schizo, maybe, for instance, that is just all over the place. Being consistent is not easy because you're distracted, depending on your lifestyle as well. If you're there today, tomorrow you're here. Those kind of things also kind of distract you from getting your goals achieved. So yeah, man, I think those are a few ways of leveling up to better your pocket.
To add on that, dog, SK did mention that you have to find something that you're good at, and then I think finding something that you're good at and mastering it, applying passion in it,
And for most people, it's very hard to find something that they love and that they'll be good at. So it's a barrier for some people, and some people just resort to having a job that they hate. Young Todd. So I think with did we have an episode where we were talking about something along these lines, like finding something that you're good at? Which one was it?
I don't remember the exact episode, but I remember we were speaking about self-development.
But I think
the freelancing
just
one,
to pave it a bit.
The one to live.
I don't think we got deep into picking something that you're
good at.
already
I think the
love.
freelancing.
But I think to just summarize that, and then you can continue. how you can find something that you love and something that you'll enjoy doing and something that will still you'll still be able to monetize. So it starts with the ikigai.
Sure. Definitely.
Yeah, it starts with the ikigai. So you can go to Google right now and search the ikigai. It's a Japanese concept about finding what's meaningful that you can do and still make money out of it. Yeah. So basically it's knowing. You do a SWOT analysis. Basically, what we always do is usually what we always do is we do SWOT analysis when it comes to businesses.
Yeah.
But the SWOT analysis formula is very effective when we use it for our personalities and our characters. So what you do is you do a SWOT analysis to your own self, and you find your strengths, you find your weaknesses, you find your opportunities, and you find your what's the T for? Threats. You see, and then you see the things that you enjoy doing, the things that you are mostly interested in. For instance, I'll make an example. Maybe I won't be able to explain this true. I'm wearing these spectacles, right? And obviously, I'll be obsessed with picking my next pair of glasses now. I'll want glasses which will protect me from the blue light. I want glasses that can, when I look at them, I can't see my own reflection, the reflection of my eyes. If you're someone who wears glasses, there are glasses where you are wearing them, you can see reflection of what's back and the reflection of your eyes. Yeah. So that's the things I'm looking at right now. And when I'm doing the shopping for my new glasses, I'm gonna be looking at those things. And now, glasses always fall, and you have to look now for the type of material that they make these glasses to be strong. Okay. I'm knowledgeable about that. That's where I spend my most of my time. Okay, how can I help other people now to be able to pick their glasses? Let's say you're someone new in picking your glasses. Okay, let me put out content on YouTube on what to look for on glasses when you're shopping for new glasses, and people receive the content. It's fine. It's very helpful. They applaud me, and they even ask me to help them go and buy their glasses. And then that's where it's an opportunity now. I'm like, I've found my strengths. My weaknesses maybe would be, I can't say no. With the people that are coming to me from seeing my content, it's difficult for me to say no, I can't help you because I have some other things that I have to work on. So what I do is, okay, that's my weakness, but my strength is that I'm very knowledgeable about picking glasses, and I see an opportunity now. Oh, maybe I can charge people instead of saying no to people. I can charge them to help them get new glasses, and then that's where I make my money. And I see the threats in that. The threats would be, I don't know what the threats would be. This is just coming out on top of my head. If there are any competitors. So I charge people now to go pick their glasses. Another opportunity would be now, okay, so I'm basically giving other people business. So maybe I can go to those people and say, hey, look, I can give you this amount of customers a month, and you give me this amount of commission. How do you feel about that? And then I see after that, oh, I'm making money, but this person is getting a lot more than me. So you know what? Let me start my own brand of glasses. Yeah. So that's you being opportunistic about the things that you are already good at. Fuck, this is just coming on top of my mind. I should be charging you guys for this.
Everything you just said right now.
You missed it.
Everything you just mentioned right now, it's so critical to developing one's self-character into building a skill that will later on develop into a business. Because what you just said right now are basically steps that a person will eventually go through in order to get to his primary goal per se.
So like how I started this conversation with you, most people find it difficult even to start to say, hey, I love to do this and let me monetize it. So I think that's a good example for people to see, Uguti. what am I most spending my time on? And then maybe you can try and make money. If it doesn't work for you, you are free to move
to something else.
To something else. And you are also free to move to something else until you find something that you can get a lot of profits from while helping people. Like number one is something that will give value to other people while you are making money from it. And you are still happy and be able to manage your time. So that's basically about it. But you can continue, dog. Too much.
You actually wrapped up everything, dog. Like, but then, like, then you should like, you have to find something that you love, that you're passionate about, and then do it, but not. Okay, right now we're talking about making money.
Yeah.
But like the money part has to come after. So, like,
yeah.
You have to apply the work. Use the passion that you have and the time to do that thing. Work. Put in the work.
Yeah, like you were saying, make videos and all that.
That's the work. Yeah, that's the process.
That's the process.
Like,
and
that's
then the process.
The money starts coming in. Once you do what you love, you won't even feel like you're working anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And there's something they call monk mode. Monk mode is basically something that enforces discipline. So you don't do alcohol, you're not after girls. Yeah?
Is it from the Buddhist monk?
So it's just normal people who are replicating what the monks do because being a monk is basically about a transformation from within.
Yeah.
So what other people are doing, just normal people like me and you guys, we're not monks. I'm not willing to spend 10 years in the monastery.
Hey,
so what I can do is have a monk mode, be on monk mode for 6 months or to a year, where I'm basically focusing on my goals and doing the stuff that I love and stuff that I know, that basically investing in the craft and enjoying the process, as you said.
And honestly, that will help a lot of guys actually battle this whole expenses thing. And I mean, as a guy, as a person, you need a bigger source of income, or you need a different stream of income. You know what I'm saying? Multiple streams of income. Yeah. So what SK right now just told us is very informative in a sense of which you know how to align your steps. You know what I'm saying? Know what you want, know how to align your steps, and then take it one step at a time while still enforcing that discipline and consistency.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I know.
Yeah. This guy gave me the business side of things.
Well received.
I know you're
talk to him.
I
need to have a session with him. I need to have a serious session.
But I think you know, like with what you just said, Brian, that if a person has that, like, let me just say now you have that under wraps. Now you got your pocket straight. Now you got a pocket straight. Now how do you choose a hand? With your pockets being straight.
Are we done with getting pocket straight? Because another thing we should be looking at is how we niggas spend. Who mentioned on the last episode that having a side chick also it's costly. So those are the things you should be looking at as well. Like the things you should be spending. Like you can get as much money as you can. We're different as people. For instance, there's a question that people usually ask. I buy things online most of the time, and maybe I attend events sometimes, and people would ask me, Uguti, oh, that's nice. I also want that, or I also want that experience. Is it affordable? And now I have to think back, Uguti. What do you mean by affordable?
Because you're affordable.
If you ask me whether something is affordable and you have a child, you have a family that you have to provide for, and I don't have a child, maybe I don't have a girlfriend that I have to take out to lunch for or accommodate in my space, whereas you have a girlfriend in your own space. Now our affordability are not the same. So it depends on the amount of things that we spend on, the things we say, because
your responsibilities.
When you buy something or you spend on it, it's like you are voting for it. For me, I vote for less things than you vote for. So our affordability concept is not the same. So another thing we guys tend to do is spend our cash on a lot of meaningless things. We don't think whether.
I think that's every consumer's
Let's
downfall.
Yeah. But mostly gents.
You
Let
think
me
so?
Mostly
ask,
gents. The
what are
stat.
the
Look.
things that
I'm gonna show you something. The stats that.
Hey,
that-
brother, Leo, that's
that one is
Listen though. Okay, you are right there. The number one consumers are women. The number one consumers are women, and there's a gender pay gap. So where are they getting the money from?
From the
us.
gents.
So it's us niggas who are allowing that to happen.
So you're
just
saying
on
what
that point, just on that point, remember when I spoke of side chicks and whatnot, right? Remember I said, Guti, how much I spend on my wife will be determined by what she consumes, right? So let me just say this. My chick is on TikTok. She see a bouquet. She likes it, right? She wants that experience. How much is that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
bouquet
saying?
of 200
So now,
rands.
although she knows, Guti, maybe I can't afford it and whatnot, it doesn't take away that want part. Because as human beings, we can put apart wants and needs, right?
yeah.
But then now, really truly speaking, you can get your chick what she needs, right? Which is probably a new laptop bag or a pair of shoes, whatever. But is it truly what she wants? And now, with that being said,
And the needs is the thoughtfulness of the gift.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's where the thoughtfulness comes from.
So now, in terms of how we spend our money, honestly, I feel like 50% of our money or rather 100% of our money that we spend on whomever that we spend it on, our ladies. Let me put it in that way. Ne? We don't determine how much we spend, honestly. They do. You know what I'm saying? Unless if you know, Guti, as a guy, ne, you have a certain budget. And you don't, bro. It doesn't matter. It doesn't, yeah, bro.
They have
And
allowances
even those that have
these days,
allowances
bro.
have that. Yo, baby, you know, thing is done. I need that. They also give you on top of that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, as guys, as much as we would like to say, good team, we might spend on useless things. The most useless things as we guys can spend on, honestly, it's water.
Yeah, because you want to piss that
For
out.
us as guys, our obsessions are women, cars, and
Water.
jewelry.
But cars are
And
practical
water as
things.
well.
What's up?
Cars are practical.
Practical
Water.
how?
Water's right up there.
A car
bro.
can
water
get
is
you
right
to
up.
work and
Point
back.
A to point
A taxi is a car, it gets you to work and back. So that's practical, honestly.
No, I'm saying with a car, the spending that we do is, you won't get a Ford Figo, but you'll go for the Mercedes.
Yeah.
What?
Half of your
You'll
salary.
go for. You don't want a Quid
But
because
question
you don't
is-
have status when you go with Quid.
Let me
now
ask-
you go for
You wanna fit in.
for an Audi A3.
Let me ask,
So,
ne,
those
why
type of
do we
things.
have these different brands that carry a different status? Who does this status matter to? Because as a guy, ne, I can safely tell you, Betty, if you have a car and I have a car, ne, what matters is which car's the fastest. Not necessarily which car's the
No.
nicest. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is there.
Nah.
But it's not really a factor, right? But then now,
No, it's not
put-
about only the fastest.
It's the brand.
brand.
That's
bro.
that's why
Especially
we
that's
why
you
we
ask black people.
But brand
Look,
has
there
that
was- there was-
Black
experience,
people
right?
don't
True car
care way
can't be
more
the
about
fastest,
what
bro.
car they are driving than which car is the fastest. Obviously, what car you're driving comes with the speed.
With the
obviously.
performance.
Yeah,
Sure,
it comes
sure.
with the performance.
Alright.
But you can easily find
No, Lalela. There was a show called Pimp My Ride.
dedicated
Who
just
was
to that.
who
I
was
want
the number
that.
one consumer of that car?
What that? though?
No, not gender. Gender
How
wise.
about you?
The show.
Of the
Amachi,
show
that-
as gents.
Yeah, one.
As gents,
And ngizothenga maybe Polo GTI.
sure.
And bangitshela ukuthi okay, it's this much without the sunroof.
Okay.
And I'm like, ngiyayidinga
And
sunroof.
you don't, though.
The utilities.
There's already
The
windows.
utilities, young Tola. I
Yeah.
need the sunroof.
And it,
That's
They
the
like,
extras.
okay,
It
Yeah.
hikes up the
some
price.
basic rims. And I'm like,
I don't want to.
and they're like,
Want a man.
yeah, they're gonna top up the cash for you to
Add mags.
put some mags. And you're like, hey, the mags look cool. Put them.
Get a tint.
Young Tola. Yeah. Tint.
Ay, mara kula sound,
the
man.
the
Hey,
smash and
okay,
grab.
it's a boof.
The sound. Young Tola. So,
Okay.
and when you look at it, women don't care about those things as long as you have a car from point A to point B. But it's us who niggas who fuss about those things. Hey, what's happening, man?
He's a dragonfly.
That's a wasp. That's a wasp.
No, blended here.
Hey, darling,
This guy is fighting with my drink.
So yeah, okay.
But those are the type of things that we spend on as guys, and when you look at them, they are very unnecessary most of the time. As much as
I'm taking that in, I'm a car fan, so I'm gonna take that in.
Yeah,
it's
so
true,
car is just an example. And secondly, it's booze, right? They say that sex sells. Sure, that's why most of the waiters in clubs are women, because they know that women are gonna attract men, and when they attract men, men are gonna spend. Women barely spend in clubs, so those are the useless things that we spend on as gents. So that's where I was coming.
I think another way of like kind of taking care of your pocket is saving, dude. We forget that we can also still save, you know.
And saving doesn't mean we take cash and put it aside.
Nah.
Saving it means saying no to something that could potentially make you spend
more. So you can just make conscious decisions over your expenditures, right? That would be saving.
And avoiding certain types of women.
Or just certain types of places. Or certain type of places. Because those places will give you those type of people.
That comes down to the discipline part.
Yes, that's why I was saying discipline, consistency, and all of those stuff, you know. And then obviously just saving, like actually taking money and putting it into a savings, an investment or whatever, you know, and do that like religiously. The same way you go out religiously, put money aside religiously, and like let it sit there or let it do its own thing, you know, but do those things consciously and know that I'm doing this not for now, but for the betterment of tomorrow. But you know, because today you buy this nice Merc, nice Beamer, but the minute it drives out the dealership,
the price is down.
It's down, you know. But you could have saved for that car and bought it cash. We don't always do this. I'm probably just speaking crap right now, right? But these are things that we can practice. I'm not saying everyone's doing this, but it's possible. There are people that do it.
Yeah, I know someone who bought a 400,000 car cash.
Exactly. I know people
cheaper
that have bought cars.
I know people and when you have cash, you can actually save more. Because you can negotiate with them and say, hey,
be like, bro,
I have this cash. So lower your price. We make it 380. No, dude, do you understand that I say I have cash? I'm not gonna go to a bank and negotiate. I have cash. Lower it again by 20,000 rands, and they're gonna lower it. So you're saving even further.
So you see those kind of stuff as well. Saving towards something that you want. Yes, it doesn't make sense maybe in that point in time because you're tired of taking taxis from one point to the next. But tomorrow it will make a lot of sense when you don't even have to cough up a single cent for just paying off a car. It doesn't make sense, obviously, because most of us are stuck either in the middle class or lower. You know, so it's either you're in a taxi or you're in an installment of a car for some years, you know. But we can at least try to put these things out there for the next person to at least take it in and say, this is also an option, actually. I can save and then maybe stay closer to where I work. Or like go back home. People do not want to live at home, dog. You know, because we are caught up in statuses of dog. And I want that suite there with the balcony and all that shit.
But what do you think? But then, you know, I don't know. It's my opinion. I feel like a lot of women are more successful in saving than men. And with this opinion, if it is right, why do you think that is why? Like, why do you think men find it harder to save than women do? Because I know a lot of women find it easy to save. I don't know why.
It's the thing that, sorry my guy, it's the thing that you said. For most guys, we can't or they can't avoid marking beside chick. Actually, you spend on these women. What you are spending on them, they are saving on their side.
True. They don't have to spend.
They don't have to spend anything. You go to a club, go mid-rent, ukrea a honey, you spend on them. But later they get, ever each other they're drunk. They didn't even spend a single cent.
So the best thing for you is not to go there.
Avoid those
places. That's what I was saying. Not the woman, but the places.
Yes.
Can I ask
Because
a
that's where
question?
you find them.
Can I ask a question that might upset a few people?
Yeah.
With that being said, Brian, don't you think Uguti sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes men just spend to prove to the next lady that they can spend?
It's like that, to impress.
And that comes down to bite us back in the butt.
It does.
Nah, it definitely does. The thing is, initially it's that first impressions type of thing, right? So you're like, nah, I want her to at least know that, okay, this is the type of person I am. But later in life, awusakwazi ukuthenga la makota owathenga.
You know, that's true, my guy. Yes,
first week, you're buying makota like
Out
this.
here hoying, boy.
Tomorrow she's expecting another quarter, dog.
You don't have
And then they tell you-
And that's at the simplest of levels. I'm trying to like put it at the most basic of terms. You
I was
know, it
watching
gets
this
bigger than
other,
that.
this other YouTube channel. I don't know if I can mention it or not. They go around asking couples ukuthi bayajolana, they do a loyalty test and stuff. They search you.
And I had your phone.
Yeah,
There's a couple of those though.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Very strong,
this guy bakrea
This
ore
one.
Chero wa muchitela.
Sure.
Chero ore kuchitela
Already
because no, listen. Kuchitela because awusaspana unqwayeditse soft life. No, awusena zaga ya ungaya soft life.
So it's chat.
So ichayile, I'm going to the next guy. But wawusamudam for because I love him. Right, so there's love,
I
but
feel
then unida that
lifestyle.
waikwishish. So
And
now,
to be honest, she's one of the few people that's actually honest with her actions.
Mara, going
Yeah.
back to how to protect your pocket, dog. Like therapy, dog. Consult a financial advisor.
Yeah.
Don't be scared to talk to a broker, dog.
nah.
Get a
Valid
broker,
point.
talk
Valid
to them,
point.
let them help you manage your money, dog.
Nah.
Easiest way to
'Cause
get out.
without you-
But I think you pay for those too.
You pay, dog.
Yeah,
Even
pay
therapy,
for
you
those.
pay, dog.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
If you want the
That's
best
a
service,
fair
you
point.
pay.
Yeah,
dog.
fair
Yeah,
point.
dog.
Nah, true.
So there's nothing for free in this world.
true.
guys.
It's a
So
service.
umuntu
But
uzothi,
this is
"Yeah,
service,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna pay a financial advisor what makakwazi ukumanija imali yakho.
And so with Ntwana, leyo nyuku leyo, Ntwana, it's way more. The money you spending is way more than you could have spent on that consultant.
But
Just for them to sit you down and say, you know what, I think you're overspending on Gonka, dude.
Invest here, invest here.
Maybe you put this money here.
Yeah, dog.
You know, just someone to just point you in the right direction.
But also understand that they're also in a business.
Yeah, that's
They're
what I'm
not
saying.
working
It's a
for you.
service.
They're working
Business.
for.
Hey, someone as a therapist is in a business.
These guys are quiet, gents. Are they still good?
Yeah, we are good. Okay, let me add some few points. Yeah, okay, to save your pockets, I would like to agree with Nceba. You should avoid like places with women. Because I also think like
What basic was women?
yeah, like I'm serious. Because, okay, for me, like personally, I also think like women like are my weaknesses. Because if I maybe for an example, I go to a certain bar and then like, there are women, I would buy more pools like just to impress them, which is useless, I think. But then, like into like any bonus strong nazo it's discipline. You understand? Because I remember my guy, I think it was 2018 when he introduced me to Stash.
Oh,
Yeah, Stash. You know Stash, ne?
Yeah, Stash.
So yeah, let's go on introduce ku Stash. Okay, ungakona ukusave 10 cents per day, 20 cents.
And
then
accumulate.
Yeah, we understand. And then if Stash for me, ngisangisebenza because isona ngivunisa discipline. Njengamanje ngisaspanisa Stash but I can say.
Sure.
Mangithola salary kwe ngiyakona ukunderstand okay. Because ngafunda ku Stash ukuthi ngasonke isikhathi because i-Stash kumele sithathe imali yaso ngithi every day. So kumele ngihlezi nginemali ku account.
Yeah.
So yeah, from that day so nga understand ukuthi okay, kumele ngihlezi nginemali ku account. So bengiye kwesinye isikhathi but then manje nga create another account. It's okay. Mangitholile ngicalculate ama expenses. It's okay. These are my expenses, the rent, transport, food and everything. And then ngisale nemali engaka. Okay, maybe this month we spend maybe 500 maybe buying alcohol, maybe another 500 to buy airtime, data, and maybe okay, also count it as an expense which ngifakele abantu imali ekhaya. You understand?
Sure.
And then this work 500 engazi ukuthi oma airtime and stuff, and then 500 omunye
Basically,
uyihlalele, and then the rest ngiyithatha ke manje ngifaka to that other account. And then bese ngibani discipline is okay. ngiyazazi ukuthi maybe mangiphuma esipani kwama Friday ngiyazimele ngithola amabhiya nyana if lo mali ebengipha bekuthi ukuthi maybe per month ngizospenda 500 emabhiyeni and ngiyabona ukuthi maybe ngihalela ibhiya ngiyazi ukuthi ngihalela ngine-discipline lapha ngengikhona ukuthi ndama savings ngengikhona ukuthi ndama savings
it's funny how there's always a budget for ibhiya.
That's the thing.
Something I learned from this book, Yaga Ramit Sethi, I will teach you to be rich. It's a 6-week program.
Yeah.
So he says, actually withdraw the cash, all the cash in your bank account, withdraw it and put it in envelopes. So this one is for this one is for this one is for this one yamapi. Once I get the envelope, I'll go to envelope. Like he makes it as that practical.
Yeah, it makes it practical.
So discipline, I think it all boils down to it.
Yeah, so for me, ngiyangizebenzela vele.
Yes, pani discipline, especially kulendaba yepiya le. Mina, I stopped drinking ipiya last year. When was it? October 9.
Yeah.
And then I decided from May 9, I'm not sure if it's October or September, but it was a Sunday. Ngathi le court engiphuza yokugcina for until E3 zaga December. I was tempted the first week. Yes, sir. But I managed to make it to E3 zaga December. So if you put your mind to something, you can actually achieve it. Simple, easy.
Yeah,
it all.
Yeah.
Even now, I'm planning on quitting alcohol. Like
totally.
Yeah. Ngiyocala nge 6 months, starting from April, 1st of April. It's not April's Fools, by the way. No, it's not a joke. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
From 1st of April, ngiyosha 6 months. If I can survive that 6 months, I'm out.
From when?
1st of April.
Oh, starting from the 1st of April.
Yeah.
What's wrong with March? Why are you prolonging?
Until now, I want to enjoy the last.
He's still on the final chapter.
Yeah. So
I have a question,
just put your mind to it.
Yeah.
Phone number 40. Is there a phone down there?
There's a phone.
Are we supposed to start standing up?
Jump.
Bro, you said you had a question.
I have a question. Yeah, so we had some technical issues and we managed to fix where we can, but we'll see how far we go. Hope you still engage with the conversation, and we are joined by the legendary Sauda. Yeah, man, we had a conversation with him in Centurion, and we didn't finish that conversation, and we were like, we're gonna do a part 2, and this will still be a continuation of that, and I'm hoping that you're still watching. And right now, not only you have to go and watch the previous episode, now you have to go back and watch that episode if you haven't. So yeah, man, thanks for pulling through, man. I hope we'll have a great. Yeah,
big. You can't miss it.
Yeah, with an orange background. So yeah, we will just continue where we left off before our technical glitches. So basically, I was asking a question. My question would be that I know that we as guys have different strategies when it comes to dating women. So what I want to know is, how do we determine whether we are going to be dating someone for short term, and how do we know that we are going to be dating someone for long term? What are we looking for, and what determines that? So yeah, the question is on the floor, and whoever feels fit enough to answer it.
Anybody curious enough to start answering that question, guys?
For me, short term usually comes with physical appearance.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah.
I see a girl, if I see
Yeah.
and like, I want to hit.
That's it.
The moment I say I want to hit, it's short term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I spend some time with the girl and I get to know her,
Because
it's not be as beautiful as others perceive it to be.
But before you say you spend time, you can't physically.
No. It happens on a random. the long term.
True. The long
For
term.
short term
is physical.
For a long time, the happens around you. If you are chilling with the girl, every time you're with her, you feel more comfortable. Like, you relax. You can tell
You don't want to leave.
Yeah, you can tell them.
I don't want to leave.
At all. I've seen that. And I was telling you, sorry, was it this best friend of mine? I have a girlfriend. So this now. That's interesting. I've never looked at her in any sexual way ever.
Since day one.
Since day one. But when I'm with her, I feel like the world doesn't exist. So, that's a best friend. That's how connected we are. Type of friend whereby you can switch off the music or TV and talk for hours.
Yeah.
You don't see ass, you don't see boobs, you don't see nothing.
Just conversation flowing.
Nothing sexual.
Maybe the conversation is not sexual.
At all. I had a best friend like that.
I don't know why, but I'm finding it hard to believe. When did I take it, dog? Or then what happened?
Watch out. You follow the friend, watch out. That's what I can say. So with my best friend, we ended up, we were both in love with each other, but we didn't want to admit. So we became friends. I don't know if you get my.
Was it verbally mentioned that, okay, let's just be friends?
Like, maybe a skis. So, with this girl, they told me don't and then because of some situations that
You guys were in relationships?
yeah. So we just became friends.
Yeah.
Deep friends. So
It's different.
Yours might have not started like mine, but I understand what you mean. Because I ended up not looking at her in any sexual way. But then
Forcefully?
Eh.
Yeah, yours doesn't sound like it was by choice.
it was by choice.
But you know, he says that be careful. He says that be careful, right? There's something I once mentioned when we have Renee, that the type of friendships with women that start with one person wanting the other, you should be careful.
Yeah,
We were both wanting each other, and then we both decided
No, yeah.
it won't work. So let's just
But given an opportunity, they are dangerous. So female and male friendships.
Yeah, because that
are
first
better.
thought is still there.
Yeah.
Still rings in both of your minds with age.
So female and male friendships are better when they start
As friends.
not the other person looking for anything from the other person, which is sexual.
So Sauda, how did yours start?
went to the same high school.
Yeah.
Right? But here's the funny part. I don't remember her in high school at all. She used to stay with the girl that I was friends with.
Okay.
So every time I would call her,
She was around.
so we started chatting like that. Then we exchanged numbers somehow. And then we were chatting continuously. We've never met. We only met last year.
Yo.
That's the funny part. We only met last year. Yeah. 2022. Yeah. And it's like you spent almost 6
Nah,
years
but guys,
chatting for
sorry to cut you down. Like, look at that guy. The nigga is just chilling with his girlfriend, and he's drinking a can of alcohol.
And he's like,
And
nah.
the guy comes and says alcohol is not allowed. So the guy now has to go and pour that shit out and throw it in the dustbin. Like, what the fuck is that, dog? This nigga, like, I know that alcohol is not is not
But
allowed.
look at
and
look
for
at the
certain
situation.
reasons, right? Certain reasons, like you can get violent. You can, like, bottles. Maybe you can hit someone with a bottle. That type of danger. That maybe the bottle
Yeah,
can break
the
and hurt
situation.
someone else. It's a park. We understand. Mara,
The
look
situation.
at the situation.
Yeah, it's
He
uncalled
is
for,
just
dog.
chilling.
They made it
Dog.
What's the worst he could do?
You know, with the Uzo.
Shilo with the
Those are the type of
Those
guys. Those are the type of guys, Joe.
They take their job too serious, dog.
Uzohlangana naye, ushota ngemali, and you're not gonna help.
Hey.
The only thing you're gonna say is, Do you remember this face? Hey, look, this is how much I have.
Hey,
Put your products away so that I can be able to pay for mine because you don't have money.
I have to cut you, right? I understand what you are saying. But are you thinking of Hispan side? What if the roots are still from this side?
No, I understand, Mvana. I understand. Yeah. But
I didn't even know they were drinking. I didn't even notice they were drinking. If anything, I think we are more visible than
check it out. Though. You're supposed to check it out. Like, throw it away. Oh,
but the sponsor, okay, Joe, let's continue with the conversation.
Hey, to compensate.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, we're done. There's no dash.
Do we
Dog! No,
yeah, bro. That's so cool. That's so thoughtful.
He has a juice.
Then we can use. Oh, my river island. To Transine.
Oh, if I hear Transine. We can't do anything. Let's continue with the conversation. Yeah, let's continue with the conversation. So, as you were saying, dog.
She came for the first time last year. That's what I met.
You said after 6 years of just talking online.
And when I met her, it was as if I've seen her before. It was almost natural. And from ever since then, every weekend,
you guys meet up.
She comes to my place. Sleeps over, nothing sexual.
Same bed.
People are different.
Since last year, you said. Oh, that was before you got a girlfriend. And how's your girlfriend's reception to all of this? Does she know?
Nah, she hasn't come. I'm told that I'm girlfriend, but she hasn't.
But does the girlfriend know about her?
She knows that she exists.
Oh, does she know the extent of your relationship?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask.
No, like just how far back you guys go.
No. Let's get into the context of the relationship. So what you're saying is, when it comes to a short term, and you are looking at a woman and you decide whether this is for short term or long term. For short term, if you are initially physically attracted to her, that's for short term. And when it's conversational and there's a more established emotional connection, and then that's where it's for long term.
The chemistry builds up.
Let me make it clear. When you say Qiniso, the first words you say is it's
short term.
Yeah.
Because you've already set an intention.
What if your words are following shy, but continuously shy?
No.
You want to continuously do it.
Yeah, it does sometimes happen. That personality of a person, and you're like.
But he's speaking about himself at the end of the day. Though.
As much as I was here to just hit the personality and the character, are just like, okay, it's someone that I can be able to make up something with.
Yeah, but then you're not explaining. You're putting another variable to it.
Yeah. But initially, I understand my question. With the initial, it's like short term and long term. Yeah.
So
Okay, I get
term,
you.
Like for long term, you find yourself with a girl that's never expected.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the fact that you have a girlfriend. And how is that? How is that experience compared to your relationship? I've been single for like 4 years.
Is it? Like abstaining and all, or just single in terms of title? Title. Yeah.
And I've dipped and doubled there.
You've had friends.
I've been encountered once in a while. Dating is a bit difficult. I'm 35 now. April.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend is 31. She has 2 kids. I'm none. Okay? So I'm thinking ahead. How would it be in 5 years to come?
Yeah.
Well, once the kids are introduced to me, can I be able to discipline them the way she wants? Will my style be
the same
as my style? And we were talking about it the other day. She says she doesn't hit her kids. She doesn't hit her kids. And I said, no, you need sometimes she just shake them, just to show them,
It's still authority.
Yeah, there's authority here. No. I said, where I'm from, you get beaten.
Yeah.
That's what I know.
Don't get hit. You get beaten.
How would I discipline the kids?
Yeah, but honestly, if I can be honest with you, and maybe what I can say is I'm sorry that this is on camera, but it's not a train smash. In situations like that, you are only given a responsibility without authority, meaning that you'll be responsible of the children,
Taking care.
Meaning, meaning providing for her and her children, but you won't have the authority to actually discipline the kids and put them in the right direction that you want, because now shake them, because now when it hurts her, I said in the last episode that some of our sisters are only loyal to their feelings, most of them, and when now you are given a situation where she doesn't feel like what you're doing is justice to the children, or it hurts her that you are disciplining the children in the way that you like to discipline children, or you would like to discipline children, which is beating, you won't be given that authority to actually discipline them. And words like, these are not your child, will come. But I cannot predict that. As I started the statement that I was saying, Guti, in most situations, you are given a responsibility without an authority. But I don't want us to dwell on that, bro. Like, I want us to stick to an agenda, because I think we have 30 minutes before the cameras actually switch off.
What you just said right now, my question to you is, what is your role in your business? So you mentioned that there are funny things. Sorry? Oh, yeah. Oh, watching never shared. All right.
Yeah, share.
What is your role in your business life, and what do you benefit from that?
Currently, I'm just it's almost like 3 weeks or something.
Oh, it's still new.
Yeah, it's still new. Oh, it's still new.
Was it New Year's type of things? Oh.
We're gonna, you see, you see,
Wait till you are.
when
crickets go
Valentines
home. It's cuffing season. It's cuffing season.
I looked at my trajectory in life. I looked at my age and said, what kind of woman do I want? At the beginning of the year, in December, I checked with one of my colleagues. He was telling me about the 30-year fast. So if you fast for 21 days, you keep forward
Your intention, yeah.
like dairy. So he asked me, what do you want it for? I said, I want a woman now. He said, okay, fine. Write down the type of woman you want. All the things that you want to do. When you're done doing that, pray that you become the man that can receive that. So if you want a woman who is opinionated, you should have the heart to listen to
handle that.
Yeah, you shouldn't be one of those
aggravated, yeah.
So I didn't do the fast. I didn't do it.
You just wrote.
I wrote those things down. Right? And out of the blue, somehow, she pops up. And I looked at her life and how she operates. And the things we talk about when we talk. And I'm like, wait a minute. What I wrote about on my notepad, this is it. So I told her, be my girlfriend. Like, what? Yeah, be my girlfriend. She said, yeah, I'll be a girlfriend, but you need to
know that there's 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay.
And I did my magic.
That's your way. That's your way of vetting a woman for long term, proper. So I just wonder, hey, you're directing all the questions to him right now.
Hey, it feels like an interview, dog.
Let's move. I want to hear other guys. Now we'll hear. Yeah. So let's move on to other guys and hear what they have to say about their strategies when it comes to vetting women for short term and we're vetting women for long term. What do you look for when you're looking for a short term girl? And what do you look for when you're looking for a long-term girl?
For me, so I'm very. So with me, it's in the physical. So it will always be the short term.
Yeah.
Not the long term because I'm looked at my wife and then I said
So manje bayinto oshoyo ukuthi umuntu onayo today unayo because wambona physically then it just happened ukuthi okay.
yeah, but I was born like first because short term.
Oh now it's
That's why.
Oh that's why you understand the question you but sometimes ukumbuka umuntu in the short term but masofika gone we are like I can do it in the yeah.
The person I'm with now was short term. But it ended up, I think now we are.
Maratona moyenza
Compared to best friend. My best friend was the situation.
no. Maratona
Because my best friend came before my
mara moyenza leyo decision yokuthi ezusho ukuthi ubuka appearance right then bese yenzeka ukuthi sothatha i-decision ukuthi athi the way angithi decision uyithatha based ukuthi uyamuzwa ngendlela akhuluma ukuthi bengacabanga ukuthi angakhuluma kanje then mase uyabona ukuthi lana nga-relax kancane so le decision uyenza based ukuthi usukunaye or usuyi-one getting to a point ukuthi besikhuluma before kule episode previous episode besikhuluma ukuthi ezinye izinto awubi conscious monayo lo muntu but you get to be conscious maso you-one then making the real decision based kwezinto osibhekayo.
Yeah, that's a nice thing, eh?
You understand?
when I saw it was a short-term thing.
No, yeah, you can't tell.
No, it's the must.
It will probably see the lines of I like how you look.
At first.
Yeah, so you kind of hinted at like being attracted to the physical.
Because obvious must come and then so I have to stay tuned. I have to work it out. And then the rest we will see. So everything happened with mind is and then I start liking you. So that it's so okay. In that so I will see so I future now. And we are here today.
But
yeah, when I'm like 40 or 50. I'm looking at the years.
but apart from i-video le esiyenzayo right makayibuka uzothola ukuthi uzothola ima-intentions wakho ukuthi first it was not about ukuthi ufuna yena abe serious but apart from that bozokugeta to a point ukuthi if ma umention ukuthi bozomshada bozofika isikhathi sokuthi uyamtshela being honest ukuthi lalela kahle kahle mina ukufika kwami la bengeke bengama-intention ukuthi ngifike.
No, I don't think most relationships even get to that point because the thing is you don't get into that relationship with that sole intention in mind. You know what? Us being here was just a military. It can happen with both of you guys had that thought. You know what? I'm just looking for this guy.
Sure,
right?
sure.
But with time, you're like, oh, I actually like this person's personality.
Yeah.
And all of that. But it doesn't get to a point where now you're addressing, you know what? I think I don't want you short term, I want you long term.
No, yabona point yami awuyi-understand the way ngisho ngakhona. Yeah.
I've done that. Short term, and we both knew that it was short term. And then
it depends on how it actually starts.
oh, okay. Now I get you. So there's this guy who said this entire thing that we guys have, we are lying to women when we looking for short-term things, and we are not honest about it. That look, Joe, I find you attractive, and I thought that I think that I do have a sexual, like I'm attracted to you sexually and would like to see where would that land us. Yeah, one. So what do you say to that? Like we don't want to have those type of conversation with girls because we know Guti, that's an application for failure. And that's the thing with us guys, because we operate on a scarcity mindset, because we are like, if I lose this one, oh fuck, yeah, I have to start over now. So what we do the easiest thing, which is lie to the woman, promise her the world, while we know Guti, we are only here for sex. We are only here for short term. So that's the craziest thing that I'm against with us guys. And it's something that I've been practicing as well, to say Guti. It's something that I've been practicing, to be honest with people. Jordan Peterson always says that always tell the truth, or at least don't lie.
Always tell the truth, or
at least don't lie.
So basically, it's always tell the truth or keep quiet.
Yeah. But when you keep quiet, also keep quiet with your actions, because you can't lead people on. Because you're dealing with people's feelings here. And you're gonna hurt people, and hurt people. And that's why now we are in this cycle of women who are against men and men who are against women. We are one. So we have these gender wars right now because of those type of things, that we are not honest with one another. If you want something short term with a girl and you know that you are in a relationship, not that I'm promoting that people go outside of their relationships and be entertaining other people, but at least be honest to say, hey, like from the first encounter, you don't have to say it after you have sex or you get what you want, because it means that you are playing with another human being. Young Todd. No, look. It's not easy at all. But here's the thing. Men are attracted to women based off the physical appearance. That's why the makeup industry is a $1 billion industry. Listen, that's why the makeup industry is a $1 billion industry, because they know that women will do their best to look appealing, to look the part. And that's why the novel industry is a $1 billion industry. It's because they know that women like to be stimulated mentally. Shakespeare, for instance, that guy was the best seducer of our times. Guys like fuck this name is. Here's the thing. Yeah.
She says she's not looking for the
yeah.
whenever she meets a guy, she tells the guy.
Yeah.
It's as easy as that.
It's easy for her, but for us, we have to put words and construct. It's a skill, dog. No. You don't have to lie, but you have to package your words in a way that's gonna be appealing. It's marketing, bro. Marketing most of the time, marketing is not lying, but marketing is packaging something in ways that are obvious, but making it seem like it's rare. It has never happened before. For instance, Coca-Cola, that's the example I always make with people. Coca-Cola is not selling the taste. Coca-Cola is selling vibes. Is it true that you're gonna get those vibes? Of course not. But you are the one who are going to create those type of vibes. When you are in the beach and with your family, with your friends, and you are all happy. Those are not lies. It's something that's creatable. But to be in context, when you speak with women in a way that you are presenting that, look, I'm coming short term, do that. But you don't do it in a direct way, of course. You have to do it in a way that's going to, you have to be polite about it. You have to be polite about it. You have to be poetic about it.
Don't get his ass about it.
A script.
A
script. No, it's not for guys. It's not for guys who are in relationships. It's for guys who are not looking for relationships. As we mentioned earlier, Guti, it's guys who are in monk mode maybe, who are not looking for a serious commitment. Guys who are just focusing on their goals, but of course have needs to fulfill. And now they are not looking for anything that's gonna be a long-term commitment.
Yeah. And Mauti Achega, we have once mentioned this, for episode 1. Episode 1. With most chance yeah, one of the way they are from coming from SK, the way they are showing or believe with sometimes as much as try with maybe which area where the way but then you need to get to a point to go to be honest. So I mean the machine in the way when you mention one will mention it maybe for a short term, right? With it. Okay, maybe I want you whatever that may be. But if you decide now with it, we are born with it. I can sit alone. I can relax. You understand? The mindset, maybe the behavior, you can see with money. Who right? I call the personality. Now you get to learn the personality. You get to see with. I can relax. Now it's no longer for a short term, but you need to be honest. You need to be honest.
How short is short term?
Yeah. How short is short term? How short is it's up to you.
Yeah,
it's up to you.
So 10 years is also short term.
Short term means like
Mounting, it's up to you.
Yes. That's
By the time you guys get to this person, the one, it's long term already.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can realize
For as long as the relationship is happy.
you can realize that in 3 months. So how short term?
Yeah, how short is the short term?
so. Hey, look, nah?
2 weeks. Yeah,
So no. Listen. There's a rule that guys have there. If they say if you hit once, you haven't hit. So you have to hit twice, and then if it's short term, you pass on. But we can't treat people like that, you know.
So you have to hit one.
That's where you
Twice
fall.
or 3 times. More than that, it's like
You're catchy.
inviting trouble. You are inviting trouble now, some emotional attachment. But what I can say is, when you are honest about these things, short term cannot mean the amount of time that I'm going to be sexually involved with you. Being short term means that I am not fully committed to you. And one thing I can give out to guys out there and you guys is that sometimes you can what nothing. Why?
You said come on.
Ngikhuluma nontwana cause ngibona enza so what I'm saying is you're gonna have some conversation with the woman, right? And at some point they will ask you or you will ask them whether they are single or not, and they're gonna ask you whether you're single or not, and your reply shouldn't be yeah, I'm single, and then it ends there. To make it sound nice or to make it intentional about what you are looking for or how you are living your life, you should be saying something along the lines of, no, let's put it this way, I'm not exclusive to anyone. That way she understands that there are people in your life, but you are not fully committed or exclusive with them. And she knows that when she steps in, she knows that she's going to be one of those people, or she's going to be not maybe one of those people, but she'll be
the only one.
She's not gonna be the only one. She can't be expecting your full attention.
True.
So that's game for you, James.
My only issue with that statement is how many women are honestly truly transparent to themselves to actually be that? Because I'm of the opinion that if you are that transparent to a woman, like, I don't want anything wrong, but you give them exactly what they say they want, honestly, from the get-go, you will find that a lot of them will be like, I'm not the type. But then now, the very same girl, behind closed doors, she's doing something.
Bro, if a woman doesn't agree with what you are putting on the table, you pass.
Yeah.
And what do you mean when she says she's not open to that, whereas she's doing it on the side?
What I'm trying to say is that I find that most people portray a certain image about themselves when they are in public, but behind closed doors,
What are you mentioning?
Yeah, she's there.
so it's different.
So wait, you're saying that, like, what's your question or what's your concern?
Here's what I'm saying. you come to a young lady, you be like, hey, Han, I saw you from far, you got a nice apple, I would like to take a photo. Right?
Though you
I'm trying to be as respectful as I can. Then you tell this person, like, you're being honest with them, right? Now, what do these people tell you that they want? They would be like, bruh, don't lie to me, right?
Look, I'll tell you one thing. Before you even finish what you're saying, I understand now what you're saying.
Oh, do you get what I'm
Yeah. Women make rules for a certain type of men, and women break rules for certain type of women. And that's another thing you should ask yourself when you are having an encounter with a woman, whether is she making rules for me or is she breaking rules for me. If you meet a woman who you know that she does those type of things where she's promiscuous or she's having affairs with people who have other people, and that's why she's presenting to her a short-term thing, and she says no, it means that she is making rules for you.
Okay, so it means...
And she should be breaking rules for you.
So it means that no is not a value, it's not a principle that she has, but it's something that she uses.
Against you. She does it, but not with you.
Yeah, not with people like you, but with other types of people she can use.
Yeah.
So what I'm taking from this is that it's not a principle, or it's not a value, or it's not a character, or it's not something that is set in stone. You know, it's something that they choose to be like, oh, okay.
That's why I'm saying they make rules for certain type of people, they make rules for certain type of people. Yeah.
Okay.
So the way ngakhona, if you are checker, ne, sometimes khona lento lebana ukuyisho ukuthi at the end of the day sonke sima liars. Liars. We are all liars. I remember Lamchita lo Kabel asho ukuthi men are liars, but I would also point it out to men are liars in their own way, women are liars in their own way. That's why women will say, I want a man that will take care of me. They basically meaning with I want a woman that will provide, I want a man that will provide for me. I want a man that will take care of me. That's what they are saying, but they're not saying it exactly. You understand? That's why now as Umchita also she's do whatever that you have to say in order to access the sand. Yes. You understand? You understand? So it's like sonke sikhuluma but ngendlela yes awafani wakhe. Yes, you understand? So indlela esho ngayabona ngane nto wena ekhulumayo ukuthi manje uno Cherry and we have never been honest the way relationship akicayikale ngakhona. So and I remember one thing, ne? I remember a few months ago I started the relationship, and the time I started the relationship, you know what I did? I remember I went to a point that I've been honest with the girl. No, it's not over. Okay, I went to a point that I was being honest with the girl. I don't want you to look at me. Most people don't look at me like, you are a fuck boy. You understand? I didn't want her to look at me to the point that you are a fuck boy. I told her, this is what I used to be, and I decided to change that, not for you, but for me. You understand? Because I chose to do that. You understand? So it doesn't depend to a point with if you fucked up, then I'm going to fucked up so that I hate you back. You understand? You get to make a decision. If now you're saying Guti, I decide Guti, this person it was for a short term, but now it's for a long term. You get to be honest with it. At first, I was not looking for you in a long term. I was looking for a short term. You being honest so that you get to a point to understand that when I was allowed to so shy. You understand? With I was long, and I must have to a point with my side bone say I'm better. She knows with it.
So what happens if when you say that? She says, I feel now it's short term.
It's short term. Yeah. No problem.
When now you are saying it's long term, she's saying it's now.
If she's talking now.
No.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah,
and then she says you put nama guy.
Check it in my it's
still short term. No, if she's saying that you have nothing to lose, man. You move. Listen, guys, you need one minute to understand. akekho umuntu ongabe head la ngaphandle.
True.
Umchita uba head, but doesn't mean ukuthi you should tolerate nonsense. Nonsense is nonsense. If uchero yakutshela ukuthi mina ngikho akekho la, wayefuna ukuthi uhlala solo busy unwayindeni.
I was just asking.
No, I understand that. That's why I'm saying that ukuthi don't tolerate nonsense. If you see ukuthi uchero uyasho ukuthi akekho da. Same as no cherry mazofika kuwe yena akutshela ukuthi niyakuncanya. Then at the end of the day ubese uyamtshela ukuthi mina kahle kahle I'm still not there. You understand? It's up to her to choose ukuthi mina kahle kahle I don't want that. Let me just move on. You understand? Le into ebaleka kanjalo, but into esisho ukuthi we as guys we are well known for lying. Yes, that's why we java asho ukuthi cherry ushelwa ngamanga. You understand? That's why we're doing that. But then at the end of the day we must try as much as possible ukuthi sibe honest. Not for his sake your cherry, but for our own sake.
I think we already mentioned that Shakespeare. Yeah. When you look at the it's basically being an actor.
Hey, poetic.
That's what I was saying with you. Sometimes you don't have to be straight direct because our honest is direct and sharp, straight to the point. It's point A, point B, that's it. But when you are talking to women, you don't have to come from point A to point B. You have to come from point A and go to Z,
Zigzag,
go to X, M, N, O, and you assess whether is she liking O or M, and then that's where you go to B now. Yeah. So you have to be poetic. So you have to be poetic.
With that being said, for me, I honestly feel like as a gender, we should be more forthcoming. Because now you can't tell me that you want me to be honest. And honesty comes in a straight point.
No.
You want A to Z.
No, honesty for men is A to B, but
So
from women,
it's A to
I
Z.
think another thing we should understand as guys that we are not the same as men and women,
Yes.
and we should understand each other's natures. For instance, most relationships and marriages end or are constantly around conflict because men and women don't understand each other. We don't understand each other's natures. You know what I'm saying? So we get frustrated as guys if ever a woman, you ask her a question and she's not direct about the question. You're gonna get frustrated about that. But for her, you should understand her nature, where she comes from, how she processes information, how she processes her feelings. Those are the things you should understand, but without even tolerating bullshit. And same as her, she has her own way of understanding information and understanding the questions that she asks and understanding her feelings. And she should understand how you are as a guy, because I think we guys, we are very simple, and women are a bit sophisticated, and we should understand what makes guys simple and what makes women sophisticated.
But here's the problem, yeah? When you're dating a girl, let's say you're dating a girl and you're not like this stage. She lives where she lives, you live where you live.
Yeah.
You see her 4 times a month, that's 4 weekends.
Yeah.
How does she get to know who you really are when she sees you 4 times a month? And when she sees you 4 times a month, 2 of those times you're out about and having fun. Right? You haven't really spent 24 hours.
Yeah, it's not a heart to heart.
A week together, you know what I mean?
It's not a heart to heart, yeah.
Where she can make you fun or you do your shit. Otherwise, you haven't spent time together as bonding.
And same as a guy, how would they get to know the girl?
If it's that.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
some of these things, they're very long-term processes.
Yeah.
But then, at what point do you say,
This is not working.
yeah, maybe from today, can we take this thing as serious as we can to get to know each other in terms of maybe finding out what other person likes, what they don't like, even though we are apart? Or do you then say, I'm serious about you. Can we go to home affairs inside? Do you say,
How did they do it in the past? How did they do it in the past? Where your family would bring you a girl and say, get married to this girl. They don't know that girl, you don't know that girl, but they were like, marry this girl.
some cultures?
And
Some cultures.
yeah, some countries. And how did they know that it's gonna last? And when you look at it, relationships back then compared to now lasted compared to now.
Here's what I can tell you. My mother is from a village where some of them practice that.
Yeah.
So 1,000 times he tell me, hey, you need to find yourself a wife. He says, if you were back home, sometimes if you were back home, uncles would have organized something for you.
Arranged marriage, yeah.
And he says, you love someone, you learn that shit.
Yeah.
You learn how to love someone. It's not something that, it happens.
Instant.
Love at first sight, as it advertised on Hollywood.
Yeah, it doesn't exist. It's a myth.
You learn to love him.
Yeah, true that.
First time is last.
Oh, wow.
But love, you learn how to love this person
Over time.
over a long period of time.
Yeah.
So, do me then now. Adopt that plan to say, and be bold enough to say, listen, man, I've seen you. I've seen how you operate. Right? Can we then check out?
Let's settle down.
Yeah. Then let's take the list and go to home affairs inside. And you don't need a big wedding now. You don't need a big wedding now. Are we bold enough to say, can we check out and build this thing, let it down jump? Or are we fearful of the checking out?
I think we should understand what we are exposed to at this generation. Options are just flashing in front of our eyes, and we are a very materialistic generation. So
With the influence of social media.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, Guti. Options are flashed in front of our eyes. I mean social media. So what I can say, it boils down to basic things that I'm just gonna outline right now. When it comes to picking someone that you can say, this is for long term, right? Short term is very easy. But long term is the main challenge. And more than 50% of marriages end up in divorce. And why? It's because of the mistakes we make from picking that person. Obviously. And it takes time to get to know a person. But what I can say is, see, that first year, when the 6 to 18 months, when you are with a person that you are saying, okay, maybe I could make things more serious with this person. Those times are the times that you're drunk. You're drunk in love. That's the honeymoon phase. You shouldn't take serious whatever decisions you make when you are in that process. Because you definitely love this person, and this person is for you forever, and you want to spend each and every single day with this person because you're still induced in that love hormone, right? So that first year, you should put it into yourself as a guy or as a woman to say, Guti, this is the time I'm going, as much as I'm enjoying how I'm feeling about this person, but I'm using this time to learn more about this person and putting them in situations where their character is going to be challenged and they reveal more of themselves to me. And there's a quote I like.
You're intentional about it.
Yeah.
You're not there to say, I'm waiting to see how things go.
No. That going with the flow thing never works. It's a train wreck.
Why is it hard to say that, I'm intentional that I want to get you going to I'm putting it these tests.
Yeah.
Why can't you then say, let's check out? Because you want, to be with this person. The reason why you're putting them through this test.
You can't just check out, bro. Like, you just can't check out. Most especially when you know that it will end in marriage or it will end in kids, because those are the very most important things important choices that you should be doing when it comes to a partner. If it's gonna end with you having a kid with that person, that's permanent for your entire life. You can't just check things. First things, you should look at red flags.
Sure. Live together.
Yeah.
To check how.
No, check out.
Check
Live together. Faten said.
Okay, what's the question? Remember, I didn't hear that.
Getting into home affairs beside you.
Yeah, just be married legally.
Yeah. Know this person.
Yeah, before you do that, you should look at the basic things.
What basic? What are those basic?
Let me list them for you. You should look at the red flags first.
No.
The red flags that you can know about a person before even putting them inside your space. Finding out their history, their family history. No, not history. Umkhulu. No, not those things. Not those things. Understanding their childhood, as we said on the previous episode, because that's where the most red flags come. By understanding their childhood, and by you knowing that they understand their childhood, you'll know, this is the person who is accountable in learning about themselves and improving to be a better version of themselves. And that way you'll understand their reactions when it comes to conflict resolution styles and how they react to situations in their relationship. I'll make an example without offending anyone. I grew up without a dad, but if you're going to partner up with a girl that grew up without a dad, that comes with a lot of baggage. That's what I can tell you. And girls don't like hearing that, but it comes with a lot of baggage in a way that you're going to be dealing with a person that didn't have a masculine figure in their life, meaning they can relate to a masculine figure, and now when they look at you as a masculine figure, they can relate with you. They have to learn to relate with you as a masculine figure in their life. Listen, red flags. There's something that who's this guy? I forgot his name, but he's like most of the time when we end relationships,
we're almost an hour in, huh?
Almost an hour in. Hey, we've been going. I think we can conclude it. He's like, most of the things that end relationships are the things that we saw from the beginning but chose to ignore. You can ignore that she grew up without a father. She's a person, after all, she deserves to be loved.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, you should be aware of those things and make decisions based off those things. I'm not saying don't commit to a woman who doesn't have a
father figure
when she was growing up. I'm not saying that, but be aware of what it comes with and how you should treat her and educate her and be able to coach her and be able to make her understand some certain things that you would expect her to just know, because she doesn't know what to expect from a father figure because she grew without one. And she doesn't know what to expect from a masculine guy because she grew up without that in her life. You should be aware of those things. I'm not saying just pass on, but if you're a guy who wants to make things easy for yourself and you don't like that type of work, you just move on. And another thing that plays a huge role is she aware of the effects that growing up without a father figure had in her life? And what things did she do or is she currently doing in her life to work on those things those effects of growing without a father in her life?
Is the guy aware of the things that she might be facing for not having a father?
See, this is the main objective of this conversation. Right? To make guys to be aware of those things.
Well, what I'm saying,
because we are ignorant of those things. We just see the body, we just see the personality, and then we're like, let's go in. That's it.
Compatible.
Yeah. But we are not aware of what my partner went through. We don't study their childhood as much as we don't study our childhood, so that we know why we react certain ways in relationships.
100%. What I'm saying is
powerful shit.
These guys are not even talking. I'm tired.
And I see that this girl has the potential to be something worthwhile, whatever that is. Why is it difficult for the both of us to commit from the get-go? Why should we test each other? Why should we go around the bush? Don't like you say,
because it's a risk. Because it's the risk.
But aren't all the relationships then a risk, though?
But you should be aware of the things that are going to.
No, when it comes to knowing who you are dealing with, it's important. You said red flags and all of that, right?
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Sure.
But now it shouldn't now like prohibit or hinder what Sauda was saying, what's stopping you from actually from the get-go saying, you know what, I actually feel like I can actually settle down with this person
without assessing the things.
No, you can assess, but assessing doesn't have to take years.
Also, you can assess along the way and say, here's what I see is a problem. How do we fix this?
Yeah.
You're already inside this commitment. You're stirring the ship. You're experiencing waves. Which way?
As you just said now, with some relationship lasted long, and it was things that were forced.
Yeah.
You were forced into that relationship, and yet they lasted years.
If you want to just dive in and figure out things while you are in it, my advice to you as a guy is good luck, and I wish you nothing but the best.
That's not advice, though.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it, dog. But it means something. It means something, Gucci. You're actually fucking up your life.
Let me just.
Something should be avoided. You shouldn't be led by your feelings and how you feel about a certain woman. And one thing that we suffer about that makes me very angry as guys is the one-nighties. Thinking that this girl is the one and I'll never find anything like her in the entire world. So whatever bullshit is there, I'm gonna settle for that. That's frustrating.
But the thing is, our personalities are not
but
all
you
the
can
same.
be happier with someone else.
Yes, you
And
could.
you can be more happier than you could realize.
But
one thing we don't realize as human beings is that we fear the unknown a lot. Whether it's our careers, whether it's decisions that has to be made that could possibly change our lives, and or it could be the partners that we choose. Yeah. We are always thinking that I'll never find something like this. Yeah, you won't. Of course, people are not the same. But you should be open as a human being. You should be open to new experiences. But it doesn't mean Uguti, you should now wreck your life because you see Uguti, okay, potentially this is what could go wrong. And everything is a risk. Just being here is a risk. Someone could come and just shoot us all and we die. Or this heat could just kill us all. Everything is a risk. Everything is a risk.
What's that video? Who's that guy that says everything is a risk?
Yeah, life is a risk.
Let me just put in just a point here. I think for me it's just gonna be my concluding point. I'm in a relationship, I'm in a serious relationship. I could have chosen to say, okay, I wanna be this person for the next 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Then up until then at that point I will know who this person is. I will marry and do it. And I think that's the perception of a lot of people, right? But that's very interesting. Because to be quite honest, to know a person, you have to be with a person from the beginning until the end. The end meaning the end of their life. Because a person can change something. So people find different things interesting at different stages of their lives.
We are growing.
You know what I'm saying?
Right? We are growing in the sense.
Yes, we are growing, we are evolving, right? So for me to safely say, bro, I know you, I have to know you from today up until the day you die. That's what I can say, I know this guy. He did 150.5. I'm sorry. And I'm saying this because there's nothing more that he could do because
he's no more.
Because he's dead. And there's nothing that is going to change from what I know. You know what I'm saying? So for me, honestly speaking, a relationship is like right now I'm with a person that I'm learning every single day. You know what I'm saying? Every single day there's something that I'm finding out. It could be small, it could be big. But she's a different person from when I met her. You know what I'm saying? When I met her, she was shy, reserved, whatnot. Now she's crazy. You know, in a good way, she's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like there's never really a fixed or there's never really a duration that you can give yourself to get know a person. So getting into marriage with a person, let me put it in this way. It's a gamble, in a sense, you're gambling to be with this person, number one, because you feel that this person is going to be good for you, right? But you don't necessarily know them. So you're hoping for the best, and also with that hope, you have the determination to come over the challenges that come with it, right? Because you can't marry a person you cannot truly, honestly tell yourself, which I will not fight you. You know what I'm saying? Fights come in different ways, whether physical, emotional, spiritually, it's a fight. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my closing argument. If you're dating a person, marry you will never know that person until the day.
Alright, there is a system. I'm not trying to mention as my partners, the partners we choose, I associate them with the system that I'm going to mention now, right? But in a company, there is a system. Let's say maybe your employer, they get to adapt to a new system, right? When they adapt to a new system, they get to a point that they're going to look for a certain characteristics or attributes that they're going to be sustainable to use that system, right? They're going to look maybe that list can be say 4 characteristics or 4 attributes that they're going to look at. Once they are done, they're going to come to you and saying, this is the system that we have, and you're going to use it. And while we're using it, you will keep on learning it. every day the developer of the system, they will keep on improving the system. You understand? Which is the same as it comes with ladies. You get to a point that Gucci, if now you're saying Gucci, I see this one like it's for keeps, as we always saying with now this one is for keep. There are certain characteristics or attributes that you have seen in that person that you say with this one I think okay, I can put her aside and make her maybe still a woman or whatever you think of making. Yes.
Who qualify, but because they don't meet those certain criteria,
you understand?
you're like, okay,
definitely.
Let's focus on this one who mostly qualifies.
Definitely.
I'd like to also add to this.
Yeah.
You said the employer introduced the system. So these are the 4 attributes of the system. And then you learn it.
Sure.
But first you have to change.
Yeah, what?
You begin to change into the system.
Sure.
So you need your outfit on yourself. I get into all of the system.
Yeah.
You make a decision. In fact, the both of you sit down and talk about it. They say,
Sure.
you gotta be serious today. I'm not here to be games. From the get-go, this school is fine. We are planning this trip. You don't know the pathway of this trip. You're planning. You're in the ship, you're sailing towards Mexico. You don't know if at this time there'll be a wave. You don't know if at this time there'll be an iceberg. You don't know at this time there'll be risk. You don't know. But you decided that you are sailing a ship, you're going.
Where are you going?
The destination, being in death.
Nah. It should be to a point in which you can't just live here saying with I'm going to a destination. You should go from say if you're going to Mexico, you should go to Mexico. Between here and Mexico, you don't know what will happen. You understand? Yes. You don't know what will happen, but an ideal of the destination should be there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So why didn't I flinch?